Good morning and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 25th day of January 2024. Today is Thursday and the time is 1 minute past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, Leadership, Vanguard, Punch, Daily Post, The Nation, The Sun. This day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebonade 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Police calls for calm as explosion hits Maitama, Abuja. Endless reviews, amendments cost National Assembly 1 billion naira yearly. Ayedatiwa gears up for Guba race, nominates Akeredoru's Kingsman as deputy. 30 people killed in Plateau amid curfew imposed on Mangu Council. Police call for calm amid, we've taken this. Court adjourns Obiano's trial on alleged 4 billion naira fraud to March 4th. Afenifere sacks Ayo Adebanjo as acting leader. Nigeria may earn over 1 trillion naira from Zengero power plant. Senators differ on return of CBN, FAAN offices to Lagos. Special economic zones attract over $66 billion FDIS, 620 billion naira domestic investment. Tinubu has no plan to move FCT to Lagos. Tinubu departs Abuja for Paris on private visit. Perish thought of taking Akwa Ibom in 2027. PDP tells Akpabio. Abubakar, Chetima profile solutions to insecurity at CNG Forum. Kanu will run. Police bar Hisba. Others as INEC receives logistics. PDP Board of Trustees members visit Makinde over Ibadan. Explosion. Obi of Onitsha. Others reaffirm support for Soludo's administration. Prepare handover notes. The tells cabinet members. 2023 polls. Outcome of litigations vindicated INEC share, says Ohaneze Youth. Anambra, Enugu for homegrown solutions to boundary dispute as federal government intervenes. United Nations body tackles shelter crisis in Northeast. 10 people still missing from Ibadan explosion, Bodija community claims. Education Day, UNICEF urges immediate action on school safety. We will prepare. We will partner to create job opportunities, Tinubu assures youths. Bello signs Kogi free exam bill, 14 others into law. IRC says 224 million children are affected by crisis globally. Garandashi becomes DIG as PSC promotes Logan. 1,897 senior officers. Alabi McFoy emerges Baba Adini of Lagos. Integration of robotic education into curriculum excites education minister. Abiodun's Supreme Court victory ordained by God, says Ogun Monarchs. Lagos State University Teaching Hospital recognizes workers for academic excellence, discourages brain drain. Mother of the Guardian former staff, Ezinne Maria Onwebulem, for burial on January 27th. Initiative urges adaptation to climate-smart farm practices for Nigeria to attain food security. Edo Guba race. 8 APC aspirants pick forms in defiance of Oshomule backed panel arrangement. The United Nations Children's Fund has called for an end to the lingering learning crisis across Nigeria. IOM seeks durable solutions to shelter crisis in Northeast. Naira, government urged to hike interest rates on fees. Glo appreciates long-serving staff with millions at iconic party. Edo best nurtures leaders through innovative learning, says Edo suburb boss. Blinken commends U.S.-Nigerian partnership in combating HIV/AIDS, COVID-19. Zamfara governor advocates regional collaboration for insecurity in northern Nigeria. CITN fellow writes FRRS boss, false finance acts. Ex-MTN staff praise court to compel firm to deposit judgment debt. Interest at appeal court. Nigeria Security Civil Defense Corps deploys intelligence teams ahead of Ondo by-election. Elderly in Nigeria must not be forgotten. First Lady. Restore power supply within 7 days or risk max protest. Ibadan communities tells Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company. Alleged P&ID scam. EFCC insists Grace Tiaga's death certificate to be produced. Alleged P&ID scam. EFCC insists Grace Tiaga's death certificate be produced. Federal government committed to prompt payment of 35,000 naira wage award, says AGF. Tinubu departs Abuja for Paris on private visit. INEC set for by-elections in Ondo Rec. Court dismisses Falana's suit against CBN on Polaris bank sale. Senior staff files 150 million naira suit against JAMB for alleged unlawful dismissal. Gunmen kill over 30 in Plateau State attack. Army announces education sponsorship for children of deceased personnel. Kiari's leadership at NMPC gains praise from civil society representative. After viral video, Lagos resolves 40 million naira land dispute between real estate firm client. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency secures 68 convictions, rehabilitates 12 in Akwa Ibom, Commander. Sowunmi sues PDP, wants court to compel National Working Committee to convene NEC meeting. Government generates 1.7 trillion naira in December, shares 1.1 trillion naira among federating entities. Kogi governor clears JAMB registration fees for 15,033 public school students. Education minister promises implementation of IPPIS. United Nations chief Muhammad warns against unregulated digitalization. United Nations Chief Muhammad warns against unregulated digitalization. INEC secures conviction of electoral offenders. Federal government hands over 700 megawatts Zongeru to MESL may stabilize national grid. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, from the Guardian newspaper, beg your pardon, we flip over to Leadership newspaper. Labour Minister tax transport union leaders on harmony, declare present danger called nomad vigilante. Ahmadu Bello Memorial Lecture holds in Meduguri. Nigerians reiterate importance of accurate census. Federal government kicks off robotics competition for students. 2023 polls, INEC vindicated by outcome of litigations. National Open University debunks recruitment, contracts rumors. AFCON, Odebami, Lawal caution egos against Cameroon. Migration body housing program benefits 9,000 in Northeast. Migration body housing program benefits 9,000 in Northeast. Umahi seeks Dangote Elumelu's support for Tinubu road infrastructure. Remember the elderly. Remi Tinubu begs Nigerians. Governor Inuwa rates Pantamis book high. Governor Inuwa raised Pantamis book high. Crisis in Plateau Assembly calls for reforms. Lamata, Money Point, commend leadership for awards. 4.5 million Nigerians aged 15 plus are tobacco users. FCCPC. Murder. Chidemma confessed to spiking attackers' drinks. Police. Afenifere removes Ayo Adebanjo as leader. No plan to relocate federal capital to Lagos. Presidency. More bloodshed in Benue. Plateau as gunmen kill 55. Suffering in silence. Kanu Hisba hunts 6 TikTokers over alleged vulgar content. AFCON 2023. Journalists injured in bus crash en route to media center. Para governor visits Al Kidriya family. Tax security agents to arrest abductors. AFCON 2023. Tunisia out. Namibia in historic qualification for last 16. Financial experts seek hike in interest rates to salvage Naira. Governor Ayedatiwa appoints Oluwatuyi Olasanya as SSG, Chief of Protocol. NIUK to bury Nigerian student who died hours after arriving UK. Buhari planned killing me, Nnamdi Kanu, for 8 years. Sowore alleges. Governor Adeleke approves 1 billion naira loan for Osun small medium enterprises at single-digit interest rates. Tinubu has no plan to relocate federal capital to Lagos. Presidency. PSC promotes AIG Galandashi to DIG. 14 CPS to AIGs. 1,882 other senior officers. FCT kidnappings. Wike orders a profiling of vigilance group members. Explosion in Maitama not related to bombing. FCT police. AFCON 2023. Host Cote d'Ivoire. Ghana. Sack coaches. Saudi Arabia to open first alcohol store for non-Muslim diplomats. AMLI advocates nationwide regulation for school entry age. CBN, FAAN offices relocation. Ndume spoke for himself. Kogi, senator. And that's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. From the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. No plan to move federal capital to Lagos. Presidency. Toothless bulldog. Tinubu's EFCC can fight corruption. Unclean hands and infectious diseases. Soludo and his small-minded solutions. Jeff and O'Brien. Nigerian banks and Tinubu's $1 trillion economy by Ikechukwu. Is Nigeria doomed to fail? The national question of identity and sense of belonging. Ondo suffers resurgency of kidnappings, killings, banditry. Roads. Federal government meets Elumelu. Dangote on PPP. No plan to move federal capital to Lagos. Presidency. Ending insecurity. Our cardinal agenda. Chetima. Plateau. Over 30 killed. Houses burnt as gunmen defy curfew. We leave coming with more forests. Reduce inflation. CBN. NESG. Abgat chairmanship. Okorie. INEC. Bika over Yakubu's alleged court contempt. We are fully prepared for Edo Ondo Guba polls. Njoko Abgat chairman. Insecurity in Northwest is rebellion against order of leadership. Adebayo Shitu. Tinubu, we've taken this. Police, INEC ready for rerun polls in Kanu. African Cup of Nations, round of 16. Tunisia coach steps down after dismissal. Afenifere crisis. Fashoranti's faction sacks Adebanjo as acting leader. Pastor in police custody for allegedly defrauding member over 18 million naira. Passport will be ready in 2 weeks after online application. Immigration. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Chieftaincy saga. Soludo dissolves Anambra Traditional Rulers Council. Ibadan explosion. We will not let this tragedy be in vain. Makinde. Tinubu says Nigerian youths ready to learn, compete globally. 10 people still missing from Ibadan explosion. Bodija community claims. That's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Vanguard newspaper. We'll flip over to Daily Post newspaper. Panel grants bail to Ibazu's former chief of staff, Abazare. Rivers crisis. Fubara's loyalists face federal government's terrorism charges in Abuja courts today. Lawmakers intervene in Akwa Ibom government's alleged road construction in Abia community. Bandits. Governor Abu Razak visits released Nabenha family members in Abuja. NUT, NULGE. Wike reveals agreement with striking FCT school teachers. Ibadan, explosion. We are still looking for 9 persons. Bodija residents. Governor Bello signs social investment bill. 14 others into law in Kogi. War against corruption, key to good governance. ICPC boss Aliyu. 17-year-old entitlement claim. Ex-staff files motion to compel MTN to deposit judgment debt interest to court. Unpainted, non-registered taxi cabs will no longer operate in FCT. Wike. Court withholds ex-governor Obiano's passport. Your letter to Governor Abiodun has sinister motives. Group flays Adebutu. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. From the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. P&ID scam. EFCC demands ex-director's death certificate. Benue villagers flee as suspected headers kill two. Raise houses. 10 Ibadan explosion victims still missing. Residents Association. British envoy Fubara discuss economic opportunities. Abiodun, APC, mom after Ogun Speaker's impeachment. Appoint strategies to tackle policy failure. NESG tells Tinubu. Anambra landlords decry multiple levies. Seek government intervention. Falana withdraws suit challenging Polaris bank sale. Afenifere demands state police scraps Adebanjo's leadership title. Plateau wants troops probed as gunmen kill 30. Court ends a 14-year Akwa Ibom chieftaincy tussle. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Punch newspaper this morning, Kujo prison plans security beef up amid rising insecurity. Diri orders cabinet members to prepare handover notes. Niger Delta Development Commission buys UTME form for 30 indigent candidates. Proprietors recommend security checks on teachers. Ugwabunwa emerges 2024 Leadership Agenda Summit President. Soludo reinstates monarchs, reconciles with Obi of Onitsha. Others. Ebonyi South. Labour Party candidate promises youths empowerment jobs. Red Cross distributes relief materials to Anambra flood victims. Ogudere. SA, Diaspora Sports. PDP, Labour Party asks questions on Tinubu's France private visit. CBN, FAAN, relocation. Presidency, others tackle Ndume. Police promote 14 Commissioner of Police. 1,883 others. 6 to die by hanging for 2021 Ghana coup. Ondo Assembly screens new deputy governor as Ayeda Tiwa sacks cabinet. Premier Breweries retirees cry out over unpaid entitlements. Premier Breweries retirees cry out over unpaid entitlements. Esut doctors declare indefinite strike over insecurity. Others. Abia Nigerian Security Civil Defense Corps Commandant extols Umuahia Varsity founder. Government intensifies campaign against sexual violence. That's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, we flip over to the Nation newspaper. Umaye Miss Kefas, Dangote Elumelu on funding gap for roads. Plateau Assembly. Court refuses to stop APC lawmakers' inauguration. Organization OK's single-use plastics ban. Compare MTN to deposit judgment debt interest. Dabiri Erewa seeks help for IDPs. Others. Alleged 4 billion naira fraud. Obiano can't leave FCT. Presidency, no plan to move federal capital back to Lagos. KB governor inaugurates SDGs 100-bed hospital. Obaseki accuses Chaibu of mischief over chapel renovation. Army screens children of deceased personnel for scholarship award. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Malam held for beating ward over inability to recite the Quran. Ogun family warns against land speculators. Anambra couple found dead in car trunk. Panic in Abuja as explosion rocks Maitama. Gunmen defy curfew, kill 25 persons in Plateau. Nimet signs memorandum of understanding on digital weather, climate intelligence. Tinubu off to Paris on private visit. Alleged P&ID scam. EFCC insists Tiger's death certificate be produced. PSC promotes 1,897 senior police officers. First Lady urges Nigerians to prioritize care for the elderly. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. From the Nation newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Kano, IPOB, replies Buhari. I will let you. Naira, undervalued. Kadoso, horror in Plateau. Man, 4 children, 25 others killed in Mangu. PSC promotes 1 DIG, 24 AIGs, 21 Commissioner of Police, 1,851 others. Afenifere sets up Elders Forum. DSS arrests Mate Allah's president for setting up vigilance group. Our inputs in oil and gas will safeguard enhanced investment. Tinubu, fresh attack. We've taken this. Excitement as Yahya Bello is its stage for Ododo. Politicians unleash bandits on Tinubu's government. APC chieftain. Apga crisis. Njoko accuses INEC chairman of contempt. 2024 budget. Can reps walk the talk? Anambra traditional rulers humble Soludo. Tinubu's government will have no sacred cows. Umenzekwe. I will leave to, we've taken this. Consumer safety. LASCOPA urges manufacturers orders to register with NAFDAC. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Ebonade 103.5 FM. We will now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper. Please stay with us.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebonade 103.5 FM with Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It's all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date.
Family is the foundation of the society. Now, the Mezinuno, never Nabi 103.5 FM, wherever I got it, Roku Basale
Papa, Mama, na Umuaka, Maka, Ike Basalo Ezinuno, Soyan, classic lady.
FEMNR, classic lady.
Never had 103.5
FM, no girl, the Mezinuno. Canada, every Tuesday, na Friday, 3 to 4 p.m.
Ndewonu, Akambo Mmụta Josephine Ujunwa, Abum Adogidi 2024. Ana m asị ka unu na-ege Ebonadi 103.5 FM Ogidi.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets? our community, our society in general. Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonadi FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government, whatever.
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifeanyi, as number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On Emas in Ebonadi corner 24/7, 24/7.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebon Ade. Investors gain 1.6 trillion naira as NGX ASI surpasses 100,000 mark. More than 2 million SMEs shut down in 4 years. Consumer Safety, LASCOPA, urges manufacturers others to register with NAFDAC. Del York, Enugu government partner to develop 042 Arena Entertainment Park. Kanu, IPOB replies Buhari. The Sun Award winners 2023. Fans score big with Goldberg, Life Beer, and Zag as Super Eagles keep AFCON hopes alive. Fake degrees and investigation of private universities. The Ibadan explosion. Nigerian Legion's director seeks succor for children of fallen heroes. Don't sit down, look, be industrious, Okolie urges women. Smoking out criminals. Ohozara local government boss leaves physically challenged persons. Jubilation in Imo oil producing communities over electrification project. Gallants for Yusuf Ali. Ruth Oguleye, pains and gains of sacrificial lamb. Special learning program improving children's education in Northeast. British official. Lassa fever outbreak hits FCT, emergency response activated. And that's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning from the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to this day newspaper. We will provide security agencies whatever will make FCT safe, secure. Ndume to Tinubu, there will be consequences for moving CBN departments, FAAN, to Lagos. Over 90 Nigerian lecturers benefit from Total Energies NMPC University Exchange Program with Massachusetts Institute. IFC invests $20 million in African 50 Fund to support sustainable infrastructure development. EITI, how incessant sack of NEITI board impacts Nigeria's transparency ranking. Tinubu will step up inventions in oil and gas sector for enhancement of investment values. Federal government must encourage new listings to boost market participation, tax revenue. Federal government, agro dealers to enforce compliance in sale of certified farm inputs. Amechi counsels Nigerians not to flee to the country, says enormous opportunities abound. Oshomole in a fix on who to choose in Edo. 1-year-old Mofe gets 1.5 million naira for open heart surgery. How Gates Foundation is improving lives despite global crunch, reinforcing NNS WEY's commitment to host communities. 6-month-old baby needs 9 million naira for severe heart surgery. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. From this day newspaper, we'll flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Bauchi governor harps on ethics, integrity in civil service. Lagos government, LCCI, seek collaboration in infrastructure, economic development. Alleged 320 million money laundering, court dismisses reps, no case submission. NEMA, DG, tax Nigerians on safety measures, visit Lagos over Mandela's building fire. Federal government inaugurates ethics committee to regulate health research. Oyo Assembly confirms appointment of new Suburb Education Trust Fund chairman. NIPSS, PBDC to train professionals on data mining. Gombe Governor Inuwa parlays investors at Nigeria-India Business Forum. FAAN relocation. Arewa stakeholders dissociate self from protests. MBMA, AHBN to implement health policy to fortify national security. Ibadan explosion. Oyo Obas declare support for control of mining activities. U.S. organization group train para teachers, students on STEM robotics. Delta. Governor Oborowori appoints 2 commissioners after 7 months in office. And that's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. That will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Ebonade 103.5 FM. We'll now flip over to our WhatsApp portal to bring you reactions this morning. From our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message coming from Famous Christian. He's joining us from Ifite Village, Agbunuzibo. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a message. It is coming from the boss from Okozo, and he says again, bomb blast in Abuja. Which state is next? Nigeria, which way? Tinubu bringing CBN back to Lagos is a welcome development because Abuja is now no for terrorists. He continues, okay, known for terrorists, and he says, Nnamdi Kanu has never lied. Why Buhari? Nigerian cabals wanted to kill him for truth. Okay, release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu now for peace to reign. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And still on our WhatsApp portal. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message coming from Okugwa Kenneth Okuchuku from Umuobalichi Kingdom. And he says, gunmen killed over 30 in Plateau State is pathetic story. Let their soul rest in peace. And our government is not doing anything to protect us. Now, human life are not valuable than they value it before. Our presidents are traveled. Our presidents travel in different countries without yielding any fruit to our country's economy. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Okay, we'll thank you so much for joining us. We have this message. It's coming from Chinedu Oneka Pastor, and he says, I commiserate with the family of the student who died immediately after arriving UK for studies. After all the struggles by his family to sponsor him to UK for studies, and he died. It's a pity. May his soul find rest with the Lord. Maitama bomb explosion is a big threat to our national security. If terrorists can successfully bomb Maitama without interception, it means we make our economy to be better as like before. The answer is no. Soludo and his small solution is a mock to our governor. We should stop this. Okay. Paul Inwizu from Onitsha. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message that is coming from Agunabo, and he's joining us from Ofa Aguluzibo. And he says the blast in Abuja, Nigeria is just a carelessness of our gallant soldiers and the killing in Benue and Plateau, barbaric, and he says need to be condemned and by any means, Nigeria and needs to summon all the army chiefs for questioning or face lawlessness as masses are ready to take law into their hands, and the relocation of capital is just a it can be easy and can be done for Tinubu. And he says, what I want to add here is that state police will help. The condition of Nigeria is disintegrating. Nnamdi Kanu must be released, despite the accusing fingers which he did not commit anything. We are watching. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Akedi Amoko Onyanabana Umunachi, and it says Governor Soludo dissolving Anambra Traditional Council is not the best option for him. Rather, he should seek the intervention of their leader. As Tunisia is out of AFCON, let our Super Eagle team be more serious, because the next country they will face is Cameroon, and they are serious in anything football. Akedi continues and says the sales of Polaris banks and that of Fidelity Bank and people's money. Why is this so in Nigeria? Before you sell any bank in advance country, you must have notified the customers and pay them off their deposited ransom. Okay, Akedi Amoke Onyenabana Umunachi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Christian Ufondo from Onitsha, and it says, police calls for calm as explosion hits Abuja. Nigerian police force does not live up to the expectation because the above statement of theirs was not enough. Police should do something fast to apprehend those that committed the crime, for we are tired of hearing this type of statement that has not been backed up with actions from them. He continued and says, government killed 50 live people in Benue State. My question is, where are all our armed forces who were trained to secure lives and properties of this nation? I feel bad whenever I see our military personnel standing on the main roads carrying AK-47, collecting the sum of 100 naira notes from the innocent motorists. If one refuses, one will be severely dealt with, but some of our people are being killed at random in Benue State without rivals. Let our security personnel direct their attention to the places where we have terrorists, not where there is no terrorist attacks. Nnamdi Kanu, he continued and said Nnamdi Kanu was right, because the way he rendition to Nigeria, he was a rendition to Nigeria, made it clear to everybody that Buhari had bad intentions in abducting Nnamdi Kanu. If Buhari had no bad intention on Nnamdi Kanu's illegal rendition to Nigeria, he would have kept him so long. He wouldn't have kept him so long after he had defeated the federal government in her court. What a taboo. Tinubu should play his ball well to avoid impending danger ahead. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It is coming from Obiora from Okozo, and it says police urged calm for Abuja explosion. He said Ibadan explosion, Plateau killing, Benue residents flee over bandit attacks. Police is telling Nigerians to be calm. The Bible says, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. Until we tell ourselves the truth, and the truth shall set us free. True Buhari, police, army, and DSS, even judiciary, are full of Boko Haram, bandits, terrorists, Fulani killers, herdsmen, and he says Nigeria have over millions of police, army, and other security agencies, but no security. My question to all Nigerians are, the terrorists more in number than say small for that? Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson, testing us from 33, and it says the rate of insecurity at Benue and the Plateau State is becoming alarming. Federal government should declare state of emergency with immediate effect because the killings are becoming too much. Umaye Miss Dangote, others, helps on public private partnerships to build Nigerian roads is a welcome development, but federal government should legalize other closed cement factory. Obiano pleads not guilty to alleged 4 billion naira money laundering charge. What will happen to the alleged stolen money? Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson, thank you so much for joining us from 33 this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Chike Obata from Obinetiti Okozu, and it says police calls for calm for what happened in Maitama. Let them do something now to prevent another incident. Court Chief's ex Anambra Governor Obiano case till March. If he is not guilty, let EFCC leave him alone. Federal government should look into all this insecurity in Nigeria. Are we in war? No plan to relocate Nigeria headquarters to Lagos. But it is in Nigerian news that I have heard it. Today, another different news. Nigeria played to again. May the soul of those ones rest in peace. Why is some Igbo why is some Igbo praising this Tinubu regime that is so painful? Doesn't Amechi see what is going on in the country called Nigeria? He should stop that advice. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Waloto Patrick from Nteje, and he says, I am deeply pained why my heart continues to bleed whenever I hear that my fellow citizens of this country are killed by Boko Haram bandits, unknown gunmen, or whatever name given to them. On that note, I want to ask, does it mean that Nigeria's insecurity has defied all known solutions spiritually and physically? If that is the case, I should suggest that the National Assembly should quickly enact laws that will allow everybody who can afford arms to bear arms for his or her self-defense, since the security agencies who are empowered by law to bear arms so as to defend the defenseless. Secondly, let me use this opportunity to encourage Tinubu to move Nigerian capital from Abuja to Lagos or any other part of this country if that can solve the litany of challenges facing this country. So let that not be a problem to anybody. This is coming from Waloto Patrick from Monteja. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message. It's coming from White Lion of Africa, and it says, it's good now that we have stepped up to tackle FCT insecurities. He said, Governor Soludo is in good terms with the traditional rulers of Anambra State. Let's move on and support the state government. Plateau killings is really getting out of hands. The federal government should intervene to tackle further attacks. He continued and says, congratulations to the new deputy governor of Ondo State. They should join hands together to move the state forward. Obiano Odile, a plot to woo him into APC. Nigeria's president on travels every week. I wonder the impact of the travels to Nigeria economy. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Jomak from Umpole Zunaka GRA, and it says, Customs, NAFDAC, destroy multi-million contraband drugs in Sokoto is a welcome development. Kudos to them and more grace to them. From Jomak. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have a message. This one is coming from Valentine Edene from Mumpo, and it says, devil sent many people these days to tarnish image of the mother church. No one is proud of who he is. Today, that's what made all so-called pastors to be displaying questionable characters. Today, the fraud, tomorrow rape, next killing, idolatry, claims to be more holy than the real clergymen this time, because of hardship, just to make money in bank of an eye. Nigerians, take it easy. Valentine then continues and says, anyway, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu had narrowly escaped from the hands of Buhari, but only God has final say in anything, because one with God is majority. He continued, okay, that's it. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Amechi Anene from Uru Ogidi, and he says, let our leaders lead us well and tell Nigerians the truth. We Nigerians have enough security, army, police, and others. May God help us in this country called Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a message. It's coming from young grandma from Odume, and she says, when are we going to hear good news in this country? May God help us in this nation. Amen. Thank you so much. Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, Still on our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message as it's coming from Kenneth Ndubisuka from Omunachi, and he says, I commend Governor Soludo for reinstallation of the suspended monarch in Anambra State. What are the lessons to learn from the suspension? The traditional rulers must trend with caution for their conduct. Traditional rulers should use titles to encourage hard working. They should demonstrate peace and harmony using their positions in the communities. Finally, they should avoid Jacob porridge. Furthermore, I condemn 30 people killed in Plateau despite of the 24 hours curfew. What is government doing to save the lives of its citizens? Is it because it hasn't touched them or their relatives? If government can't provide security for the masses, they should empower us to possess arms and defend ourselves. I commiserate with the family of Nebene on the death of Chief Anayo Nebe. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll now flip over to our SMS portal to bring you reactions this morning. As we await network on our SMS portal, let's flip over to our Facebook portal to bring you reactions this morning. And we have this one coming from Dr. Mrs. Imma Olebara from Owerri. And she says, are we really fighting insecurity in this country? Terrorism is a serious issue any serious country cannot afford to joke with. But here we are pampering, shielding, rehabilitating, and incorporating them into police force. Is this the right way to handle them until this government is ready to get the sponsors of these terrorists who will continue running in circles? Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Mrs. Imma Olebara. This is the spot where we'll call it a day on this particular edition of Newspaper Headlines on Airborne at 103.5 FM. We apologize to everyone who is trying to reach out via SMS. And don't touch.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at every Monday, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. All about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian political space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders, and most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebona 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a bet.
Family is the foundation of the society. Now, the ezinụlọ n'ebe ọ na-adị na-adị 103.5 FM bụ ebe anyị ga-agala ezinụlọ.
Papa, mama, na ụmụaka maka ịmata ihe gbasara ezinụlọ sonyere Classic Lady
Emenarị Classic Lady
n'ebe ọ na-adị 103.5
FM n'oge ọdịmma ezinụlọ nke na-abịara gị every Tuesday na Friday 3 to 4 p.m.
Biko nwanne m bịakene ka m jụọ gị, kedu ebe m ga-enweta ezigbo MC maka mmemme a na-akwado?
Ị ka ma ajụ kpọọ Shaka Shaka, the latest MC in town, ka occasion gị anwa bụrụ ịgba. Ị na-achọ ezigbo MC maọbụ DJ na agbamakwụkwọ go, agbamnkwụ go, child dedication go, imepe ụlọ, ọ bụzi ụmụ akwụkwọ na-eme graduation maọbụ end of the year party. Shaka Shaka bịa na mmemme ahụ. Ị mara na I love you bụ Selekunse. Kpọọ ya n'akara ekwentị ndị a:
09022670547 maọbụ WhatsApp 07030366888.
ụmụnne Shaka Shaka.
Ndewonu, aha m bụ Mmụta Josephine Ujunwa, abụ m Adogidi 2024. Ana m asị ka unu na-ege ebe ọ na-adị 103.5 FM Ogidi.
Nwanne m, ndị oyibo si home is where the heart is. Anyị wee bulie aka n'Igbo wee sị nwanne ebe ife ọma dị ụgbọ na-aga aga ka anyị na-eso. Nwanne, every time m batara Anambra ka m nọlụ nwa aṅụlị, obi m na-akụ Resident Leofi n'Ogidi egbugo m. Nwanne, they cannot disappoint. Ịbata na residency, ifunu rooms and suites luxuriously furnished. Nwanne, ka m gwa gị nke bụ eziokwu, Residency Hotel nwere a restaurant ọ na-abịa ịbata dị asaa abụọ gị local and intercontinental fruits and beverages Ido Aro. Nwanne, banyezanụ na bar where you are served with drinks, wines and spirits brewed in different parts of the world. In the midst of everything, security is 24/7. Residency Hotel Leofi n'Ogidi dị na kilometer 13 Old Enugu Onitsha Express Road. Ichozi ibu kedu ka esi